Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? We'll start in a few minutes. We'll just wait for a few more people to arrive. Yeah, let's start. Namaste, everybody. This is our first session of Nasadiya Advaita Mindfulness program session. So, can you hear me properly? Please let me know if you're not able to hear or something is wrong. So, hope you can hear. If not, please let me know. You can text in the chat too. And, let me know. All right. So I'll start off with the prayers first, and then first of all, and I didn't plan to have it on the Sankranti day, and it's nice to have everyone today. It's Makara Sankranti today. Happy Makara Sankranti to everyone. It's a very auspicious day to start the new sessions too. So let me start off with the prayers to Lord, to Goddess Saraswati. And then we'll say the Nasadiya Suktams, the Shanti Mantra, and then we'll start. So let me start. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. That means we're starting the new session, so we are taking blessings from Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati. And the next is we're saying the Shanti Mantra of the Nasadiya Suktam. And I'll explain what Nasadiya Suktam is all about after this. So here we go. Om Vang Me Manasi Pratishtita Mano Me Vachi Pratishtitam Aviravirma Edhi Vedasya Manistah Shutam Me Ma Prahasihi Anenadhite Naho Ratran Sandadhami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamatu Tadvaktaramatu Autumam Autavaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The meaning of this is Om, may my speech be coherent with my mind. May my mind be in sync with my speech. And may the knowledge of self evolve in me. May my mind and speech be the support to understand the Vedas. May I not forget the knowledge thus gained. I shall put forth effort day and night to attain and retain the knowledge. May I contemplate well on the knowledge and make it my knowledge. And may that knowledge get expressed through truthful speech. And may the teacher be protected by that knowledge during study phase and later. And then Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be peace from all three kinds of afflictions. Peace from natural calamities, acts of God, peace from physical ailments, and peace from within. So this is the Shanti mantra of Nasadiya Suktam. And uh, namaste. Thank you. So this is actually a good day to start off the session. So let me explain the meaning of and the importance of why we have these sessions, and why we are what the meaning of NAM is. NAM is NAM, NAM. That's the abbreviation which I've put it in for Nasadiya Advaita Movement. So the first word is Nasadiya. It comes from the Nasadiya Suktam. So Nasadiya is the Nasadiya Suktam is the Suktam from Rig Veda. So that's actually it starts off with the words Nasada Sino Sada Sit. So that means Na Asat Asit, Na Sat Asit. So at the time of creation, so Nasadiya Suktam is all about the mystery of creation. So it's actually it talks about how the world was created, and just about the time, what was existing, what was not existing, and how it all came about. So it's actually that's the reason I used that word for a moment, which where I want all the uh, uh, the members who are interested in our movement would be they'll be from all walks of life, from all spiritual paths, from all religions. So it's not only a particular religion that I wanted to involve with, because this message is and this movement is for all. Um, and there's no other uh, place where I could take out the information from, like from the creation, where it was all when you all when there was nothing at all in the beginning, right? The world was, so the Big Bang theory is what we have. So there's a lot of similarities between the Big Bang theory and the which was put forth very much later, before the Nasi Suktam came in. So there's very lot of similarity between these two. So Nasi Suktam and the Big Bang theory is they're very similar to each other. So that's why I picked up the term Nasadiya for a moment. And the next one is the Advaita. So Advaita is actually it's a philosophy of the Vedas, Upanishads, which was uh, actually used by Shankaracharya long time back, and it shows the oneness of the person with God. So the yoga that we do at various stages in different places with different teachers. That's very much going to be on the moment also, which the mindfulness program which we'll have. So basically, this is to get together all the um, like the people all over the world of the different religions to have the same goal, kind of. So this is how I named the term Nasadiya Suktam, Nasadiya Advaita Movement. So again, today's Sankranti, so happy Sankranti to all. It's a nice auspicious day where the sun takes on the path towards the Makara Rashi, I think. Yeah, that's right. So it goes towards the next 6 months would be the days will become longer. So that's the change of the time. So yeah, so let's start off with we had some introductory sessions last time. So that, I would, usually what I'll tell you what the takeaways would be from our program. So the structure um, uh, of the sessions every week, which I'm planning to have on Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. To 7:30 for about an hour. So the first few minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, we'll discuss about what the topic was introduced in the last class. So it's kind of we'll start off with that information. So the last topic, when we had the introduction, where we had only very few people were are invited. Actually, there are about more than 40 people who had come, but so there. I'm going to talk about that in this class, the particular thing. So what we'll discuss is the structure of the class would be the first would be the 5 to 10 minutes would be the previous classes discussions and new ideas that were put forth, and then then we would start off with the new topic on whatever we're going to discuss today, and then later on we'll have a specific uh, tip, actual one which people can take away and then practice and use it for that week and forever too. So this is kind of a tip which would allow us uh, to understand what the mindfulness program is all about. So the Nasadiya Advaita Mindfulness is also, it's NAM. So I'm going to abbreviate the whole movement as NAM. So it's NAM is Nasadiya Advaita Movement, Nasadiya Advaita Mindfulness, and also this movement is a non-aligned movement. So it's kind of aligning all the people from different religions, different faiths, different spiritual paths, and from each spiritual path at different levels also. So it's kind of that's how it all started with the earlier when the Vedas were introduced to the uh, to the rishis. It actually was through the sound and light. The rishis saw. They are called the shrutis. So the rishis saw and heard and grasped it, and then passed it on to the next generations, right? So that's how the Veda. So the Nasadiya Suktam is from Rig Veda. That is one of those things. So actually, all the Vedas, all the four Vedas were just one body of knowledge, which was transmitted from the Almighty God through a medium of sound waves, kind of thing, is what the understanding is so far. So basically, uh, the Nasadiya Sutta is from Rig Veda. That's which was divided into like four, first three Vedas, and then it was divided into four Vedas: Atharva Veda, Rig Veda, Sam Veda, and Yajur Veda. So basically, uh, the program is we're going to talk about all uh, the message that was given by the Vedas at time of creation. So there's and so on those Vedas, there were uh, different schools of thought which are constructed. So all the schools of thought like Advaita, and Vishishtadvaita, all these schools of thought they're all on the Upanishads. They're on the top. So what we'll be talking here and what we'll be discussing about is all from the Upanishad directly, and I would give out pointers also in that. So basically, the topics would be how the present day scientists and engineers are using it in their companies, um, and how the people are using it, or abusing it or misusing, whatever it's also. So we'll talk about everything on that, and then how the actual information was given through the Vedas at that time. So not the source and the practically how they are being used around at this current time, and try to find out this about if other people are doing this. But I think nobody else was currently doing this either. Uh, they were talking about the Vedas and the current thing, but to connect them together is what I'm trying to do, and hopefully that a lot of people could take away from that. Um, and discuss that over the nine table at home with the children, parents. So this is going to interest all the parents, the seniors, the grandparents, and the children too, and that way they would have something at home where they can focus on. Kind of when the kids are growing up. Actually, in fact, in my neighborhood in US, I've noticed that a lot of people I've worked with as a volunteer. They are mostly they use uh, there's actually some kind of discussion later on with the kind of spirituality or things that they're introduced to in the beginning, and then as they grow up and they form their own opinions, and also this will help them take on a new career too. So the the connection which I'm going to give here is from the old scriptures to the current scientific knowledge and places where people are using it, and so they would be able to uh, maybe it could interest them to take it up as a career too in the later on in their when they grow up. So that would be the interest of the youth actually. So this is how I wanted to involve. the whole community here. So this is the structure of the program. Then the takeaway would be from the point of the topic that we're using it, and then we'll discuss that again in the next class. So basically, if there's any questions, we'll have question and answer sessions later on to discussions and all after the class too, like until the end of the class after we finish. So this is basically the structure which I'm going to do. So let's start off with the topic that we had introduced last time when we had kind of. So let's see if we had. I'm not sure if other people had attended. I think few of you have attended the last session to which it was just an introduction where I talked about how uh, the company called Neuralink, which was founded by Elon Musk, who is uh, one of my actually favorite hero kind of thing, the CEO who thinks ahead of his time always. So his company Neuralink tried when I was reading once, tried to upload and download the memory of a person, so that if that could be possible, then it would be a big difference in children would not have to go to school to study or anything. So the thing. So then I think their focus now is different. I was going through their company website and I found out there's some information about that. So we'll talk on that. So that was a topic I had introduced in the last session. Um, there were how the how the Vedas were transmitted from uh, God to the rishis. It was through the sound waves. So basically, this is what currently this company is also trying to do, and then they're trying to um, move physically like a mouse or something through the thoughts actually. Uh, so basically, there are let me step back and tell you a little bit more about that. So there are four cortex of the brains that we're trying to use there at Neuralink. I was going through that. So it says one of them is the uh, visual, auditory, and somatosensory, and the motor cortex. So the visual one is what it processes the visual information from the eyes, right? The auditory is what it assesses the perception and interpretation of the sound, the ears. That's what it does. The somatosensory is that which has the sense of touch. The motor is the responsible for the planning and execution of the voluntary movements, right? So this link that they're trying to install in the brain is going to be. I think another company has succeeded in doing that already. Forgot the name of the company. It's, uh, so they have already done it before the Neuralink. So there's a lot of things that are going on currently. So basically, that on some date might record the activity of the neurons, that link which is installed in the brain, and then it would record the activity of the neurons and then process the signals, and then real time, and translate the intended movements directly into the control of some external device. So, for example, they're trying to do it for the um, uh, for the quadriplegic with through the thoughts. So, if through the thoughts they can move the mouse and stuff. So that's how they're trying to use the keyboard or things like that. So there are a lot of companies who are doing this. Actually, Microsoft is doing this. Google is doing this too, and Elon Musk, is kind of there are a lot of uh, companies out there which are currently doing this brain human interface. It's very interesting. So this is kind of a new topic, which some of you might already know that, but I wanted to introduce that in our class to see how it's connected with the old scriptures and the current phase of faith. So every week we'll be talking on a new topic. Hopefully, but this one which I've picked up is going to be actually a lot of interesting because it's deals with the main big question of science. There are two questions of science actually which are baffling the scientific community. One is it says what is consciousness? So they are trying to figure out what is actually the meaning of consciousness. So, and the second question is about what is the universe made of. There are the two questions which are like very baffling the community because they're trying to find out a lot of uh, habitable planets in the universe, and also they're trying to find out what consciousness is all about. So there is in the Vedas, it's really clearly it's dealt with in a lot of detail about consciousness, which we all are. Uh, and then so I mean, in my case, I've been exposed to a lot of spiritual masters, and I really wanted to put forth that knowledge to, and then spread the knowledge out through our movement now, Nasadiya Advaita Movement. So that way, I wanted to help uh, the citizens of the world, anybody from different religions and all, to understand where we are coming from, and like what. Because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to do something which is giving them satisfaction, right? So it's and there's a lot of intersection between the technology and the spirituality these days, and there are some answers which that technology can go only so far, and then it stops. It comes to dead stop where it cannot find any answers. Like for example, this question, because in this brain human interface, that plays a very big role. So, for example, if you are trying to control the mouse with the thoughts, imagine like there are so many thoughts coming up through your mind every time, right? So it's going to be very interesting if you think of one thing and then suddenly you start thinking of something else. The thoughts change very drastically. It's like uh, so the algorithms which do that also have to make sure that it is in sync with the thoughts, and that's very difficult. So, for example, only if you are focused on a certain thing, you'll be able to do that task, right? So the thoughts are really, really uncontrollable. So, for example, if you have to do a certain action, um, so the intention behind that is how this is how they goes. Like there's kind of there are 4 steps here. First of all, you got to have a good intention of doing what you want to do for the action to happen successfully in a way that you expect it to do. So the intention behind it has to be really good, and then comes the faith. Faith is not what we believe in. Faith is what actually it's what we experience, like what we know will we are capable of doing that. And so each person is capable of doing uh, infinite amount of things. So it's kind of the awakening that needs to be done within a person, and this moment will Advaita Nasadiya Advaita movement will try to expose some of the tools and some of the ways that everybody can use them and make uh, uh, you know, those kind of things very very mindful, right? So it has to be focused towards that particular thing. So next one, during that process, the intention when it's good, and we have the faith, and that you're going to be able to do that and succeed there. That's and that's usually when you see the light at the end of tunnel, right? I mean, that you know that it's going to happen, and you so that you have or you've experienced that earlier. So that's what the faith is going to be about. So and faith in a higher being too, right? The Almighty, the God. That also is plays a big role for spiritual people who are on different path at different levels. They could use that tool, because in the end, our Vedas and spiritual knowledge, which we have so far from all the rishis, it says the fruits of actions have to be uh, done selflessly, and to be uh, for the higher goal, for the higher being, so, for God. So that's what makes you not bound by the actions, is what it is. So the next step here would be that the thoughts would come for that, right? So for a particular, when you have the good intention, and when you have the good faith, and then comes thoughts. So the thoughts have to be very focused. There would be some positive thoughts and some negative thoughts, and whether this is possible, that. So you have to be able to be focused on that. So uh, the mindfulness program which we have, and each tool which each tip which I'll be giving in the end of the class, end of the sessions every week, would be helpful. um, so the and then the next step would be the actual action taking place. So action taking place would depend on all these three pre-factors, like the factors that are happening earlier. So basically, when you have the thoughts focused, then the actions are automatically successful, and you get the strength to do that. So it's actually, you know going to make the action successful. It plays a lot of big role in doing this. So basically, that's the one which we're talking on this sessions. So, and there are other things happening here in this current situation where the technology is being misused also, kind of thing. So uh, we're talking that in the next few sessions about that. So there's another company which I was which I've come across so far is called the socialdilemma.com, where they have actually found out that there are different feeds being given to different people depending on their profiles that they have. So that divides us basically into different groups, and that's not fair on especially the young children who are uh, very addicted, we become very addicted to the social media thing. So it's kind of the the reason that one of the things which was I had to start this, like I wanted to start immediately, was about the problems faced by the kids, and there's a study which was done where the fresh students who come out from the high school and go into college, they are very anxious. They are actually they have some issues with mental health, and so they become very because there's not much social interaction going on physically and talking, and there's a lot of things that are going on online and things. So things have changed a lot here since the time since like maybe 10 15 years now. So it's since the social media has already started. So this company is really having the same goals which I have here in my movement, Nasadiya Advaita Movement, where it's going to help the person not become anxious. So that's the anxiety problems that we have seen with the kids, with the children, with the youth, with the adults. Even the adults who are, they are like on the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and WhatsApp and other social media companies that we have here. It's kind of first of all, when it all started, I didn't know what the likes were on that. So the likes and things, how many likes do you have on that things, there's all the things in that. So it's kind of related. So really happy that the other company, socialdilemma.com, has in fact a movie, it seems, also produced, and it was done 2 years back. I will be sharing that information too on uh, the YouTube channel which we have currently here, and uh, so that's basically what we'll be talking today about the companies and how the human link interface is going to be working. So it's going to help a lot of other people too here, and it's interesting how the technology is advancing. So you could discuss that for the week, and then in the next class let's talk about the same thing for about 5 to 10 minutes again in the beginning, and then check out what we're going to be doing next. So yeah, the other part would be uh, the the consciousness which you talk about. So we are the good definition given by Swami Sarapriyananda of Ramakrishna Mission. He had said that consciousness is whatever you are aware of is not consciousness. So uh, a good answer for that question, actually, because everything is in consciousness, right? So that's basically what the Vedas tell us. So it's a very abstract subject for. I'm sure a lot of us are on different levels of spiritual paths, and but this question, which is baffling the scientific community, where they're trying to find out, because when you try to get this different field of brain and human interactions, it's very critical to understand what consciousness is all about in this. Um, and then the other part is actually there's the universe, right? So there's another organization called San Jose Astronomical Association, where I usually go out to see the universe and stuff. So that's there are a lot of children there were interested in the astronomy things, that they had taken it as their career itself when they started going there. So this sessions which we're going to have, it might interest the children. So this particular topic of brain-human interface is pretty new, as a lot of other like topics like uh, virtual reality, AI, machine language, and other things. So it's kind of we are at a very good stage of technological innovations, and we have a very interesting phase of the the where we live in currently, the current development, and it's going to change drastically in the next few years. And I'm sure the economy is going to be really good in this, because this is where the intersection is, and then the next few years will define who and what we are and how we interact with each other, and if this kind of thing where the human and computer interface succeeds in making that, for example, the people uh, who are like quadriplegic, right? So who are like not able to do something, are able to do stuff which was not attainable earlier, like Parkinson's disease. They'll be able to control that, right? So it's kind of very important how uh, the interface works. And then, in fact, there are the neurons which are in the brain also, they regenerate by it themselves, and it's very interesting how the brain works. It's also uh, is uh, because everything what we have is in the brain, and it's all in the memory, um, and the experiences that we are and having every day, we had earlier. So each person is made up of their own experiences, the vasanas. So um, the and if a person loses that, uh, for example, in a stroke kind of thing, it it makes one think about that, because if a person is brain dead, or if a person is not able to use part of the memory, um, then that part of the whole amount of time of life is like gone out of your own. So uh, imagine, like, the question of uh, who you are actually, the who am I, and that is comes to the forefront here, right? So there's and one of the things which one of this movement which was started earlier. So in fact, this idea was sold in me by Swami Chidananji, who's leading organization called FAWAI, the FOWAI, that's Flame of Who Am I. So it's interesting, how this all started 8 to 10 years back. There, we wanted to do some Upanishads project where people could search. So there are other people also who had working on this, and they had we had all come together and try to find out if we can um, search for a particular uh, Sanskrit thing on the Upanishads. We wanted to give out all the Upanishads to all, and so that they can. But then, as the days and years passed by, I realized that it's not. It cannot be just read to be understood. So, for example, the who am I question is there. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that, for example, there's uh, uh, Rishi Ramana Maharishi, who was with many people of many of us know. he talks about man's real nature is happiness. So he says here happiness is inborn and it's in the true self. Man's search for happiness is in an unconscious search for his true self. The true self is imperishable. Therefore, when a man finds it, he finds happiness which does not come to an end. So, in order to understand this, there has to be uh, guru or a person who is knowledgeable about that to explain it to you. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And we're lucky to have these webinars by Swami Chidanji going on for a long time now. More than 250 webinars have happened on that subject with different masters who have been coming on. So it helps me to understand that the way that we will start. So this particular movement was sort of like 8 to 10 years back where we wanted to do that. So it's kind of how things have come about now. And there was actually there are some interesting things which happened in my community here where uh, we had to get this together for the parents, and so hopefully it'll help the parents and the children get interested in these new topics which we were talking about. So then maybe they could take it up as a career, and they could take it up as their interest, and they could do some more research. And even for astronomy, for example, when I was talking about the San Jose Astronomical Association, they could find some planets which are habitable, and they could name them. So they could buy land on the moon. So it's amazing how things have been going on in that field also. So it's interesting how this and in fact when you go out to have a look at the universe outside, it's such a huge trillions and trillions of stars out there, and actually uh, it's just 0.1% of what uh, you know visible universe is. So all the rest is nothing. It's all empty. So that's what is baffling the scientific community. That's the second question of the science, which is kind of actually, which was told about that is. So it's these are the things which we'll be talking in our sessions. I think I'm in time now, so it's good. So we have few more things which I would like to talk about today. That would be the mindfulness tip that would be that people can take away today. Um, so, for example, the technology would give us the kind of happiness that we want, and even that is not permanent. Uh, in order for it to be uh, imperishable, that's what I would use for the happiness. You got to find your true self, and that is currently only through the spirituality, which has different paths. With and there are different religions who are those who talk about uh, that their religion is the only one which will take it to the end goal. And there's so there have been a lot of wars that have been fought on this. There's a lot of hatredness and things which have gone across the world over the history. And so I wanted to make this movement a non-aligned movement, which we're getting all the information um, about the thing, but there are different paths. Is how the our scriptures at the time of creation, the Vedas, talk about, and also there is in fact you know um, a royal secret royal yoga, Raja Yoga thing, which we have in our religion too, and which is actually for people who have faith. And so it also talks about uh, the it is the highest secretive way of, and in that too, in fact, it says that it's kind of similar to other religions in the sense uh, it talks about it's the only way of reaching the God. But then, according to the 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 Vedas, there are other easier paths also for other people who do not have that kind of uh, the the faith in that particular. So there are the different levels, the different paths that people can use in even in the Hindu religion too. So it's very, I find it most secular religion in the world so far, which allows us to live peacefully with other people who are following different religions and different paths. So basically, where we get coming here is from, um, you know we are trying to find out common ground uh, between all the citizens. So that's why I made use the name NAM for this non-aligned movement, so that we can all come together and work towards the peace. Because we have only one world, which is, where we have, in order for it to be peaceful. Currently, there are some wars going on, right? So it's kind of, um, uh, it's interesting how the like, if a person doesn't have peace within, and if is and it's not satisfied with whatever is happening with that person, then it's become very difficult for you to change the whole different other. So this moment will try to change each person. It gives tools to change for each person to change themselves, and so one person at a time could make a big difference in the whole world outside there. Is what I feel. um, Hopefully, everybody will get whatever they want from this moment, and we would have a better place in the world to live. That's the thing. So kind of the mindfulness tip that I'm going to talk about today is pretty easy. Let's start off with the very basic, basic thing, where the important thing is about breathing, pranayama. So this can be done anywhere, at any time. It could be done while you are driving, when you're sitting, but then it has to be done consciously, kind of thing, where so it's pretty easy. The breathing, which you got to take a deep breath, and then the and then when you're leaving it out slowly, it could be a little longer than the time it took for you to take in the breath. So it could be one and a half times, twice the amount of time. You don't have to stop it in between, and that's a different level that people can have when they are more. Uh, when they use it a lot, and then they can practice a lot, and they don't have any health issues too. So you can talk to your doctor about this if you have any health issues before you take up this. So what I would suggest is uh, a practical tip where, if a person is very anxious, kind of thing, right? And if it's not, things are not going through, so just sit straight, and then or sit comfortably, uh, take a deep breath in, and then uh, check out the time that it took you to take that deep breath in, and then when you're leaving it out, just do it little slowly. Uh, would would be what I would suggest. So again, if you're having health issues, please talk to your doctor before you take up this. It's pretty important that and you should not do it uh, if you're not feeling. I mean, if you face some issues when doing this, you should stop. I mean, you should not take it like a lot and then try. So when it comes to practice, so you can practice it and let me know how it goes next time. So this is a pretty easy tip to start off with. We could just use it anywhere you want, at any time, uh, at, and then the thoughts that you have in mind at that time, to whatever nice thoughts you had in the past, or whatever you could think about, that would really help too. uh, a sign of gratitude at that time, actually. So that would calm yourself immediately. It could give you all the strength that you need for the next few minutes. or the next action that you're going to take. So this is a kind of very, very easy thing to do, which we all have to do. Otherwise, if you don't breathe, then it's going to be a problem, right? So, and we already do that, but doing it consciously and then making sure that you're doing it correctly for this particular time with gratitude is the big difference. That would clear out a lot of things in your mind. It would try to focus your thoughts. It will give you clear idea. It will give you calmness. It will make you less anxious if you're anxious at that time, and it will make you uh, more ready for your next things to do. So I mean, it's a very important and easy thing that anybody can do it, and but don't take it to a level where it hurts you. So you are the own judge here to see how much you can take the breath in and how much you can take it out slowly. So 1.5 times the time it took you to take the breath in would be good, or twice is good too, and uh, doing it consciously, gratitude is the main key here. Uh, and then yeah, so this is the tip which I wanted to give for this session, and so we'll have a lot of similar kind of things every week. So basically, we'll start off with the topic that we had talked about today. That's the human computer interface. The links that people want to put it on your brain, inside your head. It's pretty safe, it seems. So, and another company has done it so far. There are a lot of other companies who are trying to do it without using that, with different kind of human computer interface. So this brain link, the neural link company with Elon Musk, uh, was really interesting when I came across a couple of years back. So I thought I could share that in the first session of our NAM, this mindfulness program. I hope you liked it. And I think so. Next session we'll talk about another uh, new topic on this particular subject itself, which is very vast, because the brain is so complex, and it's a very important part of our body, where uh, it controls almost all the other parts. It's the main, actually. So main computer interface which is important. So if they're able to do that, it would be really good for all the different diseases also. Yeah. So this is a really good field that the youngsters can take in your family, and so I think that this is what I wanted to do it every week. I wanted to show how the things have happened earlier on. I'll be talking on the the other time of creation. So that way, all the religions and all will have no issues with that at all. And that's the truth that that has been given to mankind, um, and it is going to help everybody find their peaceful existence, peace within. So this is my aim for today. I think we are almost coming to an end. So let's have any if any questions we have, we can talk about that. But for that, let me see if I have anything which sure. So we will talk about the consciousness that we are that the question with the previous time. So it is basically there are so many subjects that we can talk on that on the consciousness part itself, and there are a lot of research being done. It's baffling the scientific community, and they're trying to find out what is consciousness, and then actually the answer to that through spirituality is that everything is in consciousness. So it's very hard for the scientific community to yeah. So this is where the intersection of that two fields are right now currently, and they're trying to find out exactly, and trying to find out different ways to to make sure that one wins. So it's uh, the next few years will be interesting to watch and how these things develop, and hopefully we'll have some good results in the future and in the near future actually. So, and then the other part was, I talked about the socialdilemma.com too. It's a nice uh, movement that they have started, and I would share those knowledge to the next few things. So let's the so hopefully the topics that we talked today are interesting, and then we'll continue on every week. There'll be new topic connecting the old scriptures and the current scientific development that are happening, and how people are using that, or how people are misusing that too and abusing that too. So that's basically our discussion. That's how your sessions are going to go on every week, and hopefully you'll all find something interesting and be able to get what we want out of these sessions. Thank you all for coming again. We'll have some. If you have any questions, we can talk and we can discuss, and then we'll continue on to the next session next week again, same time. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to this channel. That way, you'll have the updates, and you won't miss out on any of the things which you have been discussing so far. So I'll be sharing a lot of information now on the channel. I'll be sharing a lot of uh, other kind of details about the people who are doing this the kind of thing. For example, the socialdilemma.com company is like really good, and they have the same goals as what this movement is all about. So basically, I found, and I'll be talking to them next week to see how we can work together on this issue. So I have two meetings with them next week. So let's see how it goes, and hopefully every one of us who are into this would get something out of this for sure. And let's make it a big success, and hopefully uh, make ourselves peaceful first and happy, and then make the world and other one who join us, and they would be able to do that by themselves. So every doing it a person at a time is what the movement is all about. Helping a person to do whatever they want to achieve. So because the peaceful coexistence is really important at this time. As long as we can attain that, I'm trying to have it in all different places. So let's see how it goes. Again, thank you all for coming. Let's uh, end up this session with a prayer, and then we can discuss if you have any questions, and we'll try to figure out. Please also do suggest any suggestions you have, and we can discuss that too. So let me end up with a prayer, and then we can discuss on the question that you have. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's see if you have any questions or discussions. I'm going to check all the things here. Thank you all for coming again. It's very nice talking to you, and hopefully we can continue the sessions with all new topics which are interesting to your family, with your children, with your friends. Please share this information to others also. That way, everybody can benefit from this. Let me see Venkat and Venki, Hariom. Uh, Thank you, Venki. Venkat, good information. Thank you, Venkat. Yeah. Namaskar. Oh, Naveen from Hyderabad. Hi, Naveen. Good morning, Ashok. Yep. Prashant. Namaste. Thank you. Yeah, so if you have any questions, we can discuss. Let me know your feedback. Subscribe to this channel again, and then pass on the message to others, so that a lot of people can benefit from this. And let's take it further. Let's hope that you know, uh, this is for everyone actually. So it's not only for people who are stressed out, or like if kind of people who are not trying to find it. It's a tool that you can use. It's a tool that you can use to make sure that you are successful in whatever you are doing. So exactly. Hopefully you found it interesting. So if you have any questions, any suggestions that you have, thank you all for attending again. And if not, then Yes, that is correct. Meditation is another tool which improves your focus, and Venkat is saying that. Yes, so mindfulness program is all about the concentration, meditation, uh, and so basically the tool that I share today is just for the beginning. So it allows you to calm down in the first place at any time, and so we'll be using that too. And so there are different ways of meditation, and even actually Bhagavad Gita has pretty good structured way of doing meditation, and we'll take up that because Bhagavad Gita was told not for the first time in the Kurukshetra war. It was given at the time of creation to the Surya Deva, that Vivaswan. That's what it says in one of the shlokas. So basically, uh, so this fits in our Nam, the values that we are going to. So it's at the time of the Nasadiya Suktam is at the time of creation. So even the Bhagavad Gita was told to the Surya Deva at the time of creation. That was the first time it was told. That's how one of the shlokas says. So yeah, let's do that. We'll take up the meditation from on the Bhagavad Gita where how it is. So that's a good suggestion. Vikram. Any other suggestions that you have? Uh, Thank you all for attending. So let's continue on to the next session. And please feel free to send out and messages on the this. Hopefully, this is recorded now, and then I'll upload this onto the channel now. And you can comment your information, and or you can contact me too directly. So let's take it further, and let's hope we can get it out to this word to a lot of other people, and hopefully it will help many individuals get what they want. With that, I think let's end our session for today. It's almost time, I think, unless you have anything else. Um, Yes, Venkat. So I think you have another question that you mentioned about consciousness. What about subconsciousness? Let's first talk about the consciousness itself, and then yeah, there is uh, lot of things which we can talk on the other things to subconsciousness. Yes, there is very interesting things are out there, and pretty much these sessions are going to be really good, really. When I was introduced to this particular thing, I got a glimpse of that. I'm just like a common person with a little bit more knowledge than a normal Hindu person, I would say. I mean, because I got the experiences, the glimpses of the Upanishads with association with Swami Chidanji and other group of members who we wanted to do a project of that 8 to 10 years back. And then from that time on, it's like I'm like so much amazed at the knowledge that is this body of knowledge has. It's like a whole science by itself, and it says and it's presently being used. It can be actually. That's what I mean. I'm just like a an engineer who just finished a project at Apple and 2 years back in software, and then so it's just like so. There's an intersection of spirituality and technology actually, which is going on right now, and this is not going to end. There's some of the questions are really hard for the technology to the science to come to a conclusion, and these sessions are really going to be interesting in that aspect actually. Thank you. Naveen has for anxiety and stress, a best remedy would be focus on your breathing and the thoughts would melt away. Yep, that's correct. Exactly. So the one that the tool that we have currently is the breathing, right, is very important. That's the life prana of our own self, and there's the whole universe of cells within us. Just as we see outside, the different stars that we see outside, that's so big, right? And we are just a speck, and then in that speck itself there's a big universe within us. And if we and the Vedas have talked about that science within us, and that's the tricky part for a person to realize and understand. And it takes a big different direction when a person starts to understand that. And that's what happened to me 8 years back, about 10 years back. So It's interesting how I wanted to do this moment, and hopefully, let's see on how it's going to go. The next sessions will be very interesting too. I'm sure I'm going to get some very interesting subjects which I have lined up, and I'm going to get it, and it will be you'll find it also interesting for sure. Again, thank you all for coming. I think if you have any more questions, we can take it. Otherwise, we'll end this session now. And see you all next time, same time, every week on Saturday, California time, 6:30 to 7:30, and then it's 8 o'clock to 9 at India time. I think so. Thank you all for coming again. I think I'm going to stop this. And yes, Venkat, look forward to seeing you again. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you. Hari Om.